Hi there, you're watching Nightline with me, Natasha Beast. The top stories. Malaysia accelerates the use of AI to strengthen laws to combat data breaches. And 3 participants of a team building program drowned while crossing Kampar River. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said that the government will strengthen regulations and laws to prevent data leaks and misuse. He also said that he has directed the relevant ministries to take immediate action to ensure the impact is effectively managed. Anwar, who is also the finance minister, said there is a need to strengthen the AI and data center ecosystem, especially in terms of establishing clear rules and regulations to prevent data leakage and malicious exploitation. He said this after meeting with technology giant Google on the sidelines of the 2024 APEC Summit in Lima on Thursday. The main focus on the discussion was the empowerment of the AI ecosystem and the development of data centers, 2 crucial elements that will play a significant role in strengthening Malaysia's digital economy. Earlier, Anwar attended a luncheon with business leaders from APEC economies. During the session, he exchanged views with the attendees, shared Malaysia's aspirations on trade and investment, and invited them to invest in the country. The Prime Minister also highlighted the government's transparent policies and ongoing efforts to foster a more competitive business environment in Malaysia. Malaysia, as the chair of the ASEAN Business Advisory Council, ASEAN BAC, next year, will continue to focus on centralizing ASEAN as a single market. Anwar said that the target could be achieved through strong cooperation, particularly between the government and business sectors, which can be facilitated through the ASEAN Caucus.
Therefore, you need to utilize the resources available, collaborate as much as possible, because as you see, in terms of digitalization, in terms of food security, of energy transition, we are all on the same page. And this is quite remarkable.
Anwar also emphasized the importance of the ASEAN Caucus playing an active role in the APEC Business Advisory Council, ABAC, to support ASEAN's commitment to achieving sustainable economic growth and addressing wealth disparities. The Prime Minister said this during the ABAC High-Level Economic Dialogue with Indonesia's President Prabowo Subianto held in Lima on Thursday. The ASEAN ABAC Caucus comprises 7 ASEAN members, namely Malaysia, Brunei, Indonesia, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand and Vietnam, who are part of APEC. A new technical and tactical cyber unit has been established to boost the Commercial Crime Investigation Department, CCID's ability to effectively tackle cyber crimes. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussein announced that 17 positions have been filled to launch the unit's first phase operations. During the IGP monthly assembly at Bukit Aman on Friday, Razaruddin highlighted that the tactics used by criminals in commercial crimes are becoming more complex, particularly with the use of AI.
Salah satu contoh yang membimbangkan ialah penggunaan teknologi deepfake yang membolehkan penjenayah mencipta kandungan palsu baik dalam bentuk video, gambar maupun audio untuk memperdayakan bangsa. Kemajuan ini menuntut kita mengadaptasikan langkah lebih proaktif dan berinovatif bagi mengekang eksploitasi teknologi tersebut dalam penipuan dalam talian.
He also said that the restructuring of roles within the CCID is one of the measures being taken to address these emerging challenges. The top cop also stated that amendments to existing laws relating to offences involving mule accounts can further strengthen efforts to investigate commercial crime cases. Between January and September, a total of 24,671 cases of online fraud had been recorded, with total losses amounting to 1.04 billion ringgit. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, has arrested 3 individuals, including a Pahang government official, in a crackdown on the illegal extraction of minerals in the state. In a statement on Friday, MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki said that the minerals, which include bauxite, have been illegally extracted since 2022. The trio, comprising 2 company owners and the official, were detained during a raid in Bukit Goh, Kuantan on Thursday. The official is believed to have accepted bribes from the company owners and several lorry operators to protect the illegal extrication of minerals. MACC officers also seized 26,000 ringgit in cash and 3 mobile phones during the operation. Based on investigations by the graph buster, only minerals mined before 2022 were permitted to be extracted. Following this, the MACC raided a store in Jabor, Terengganu, where the minerals were kept. During the operation, several pieces of heavy machinery, including 7 lorries, were seized and handed over to the Terengganu Lands and Mines Department for unlawful occupation of land under the National Land Code. 8 tipper-dumper lorries believed to be overloaded during an inspection in Gebeng were also seized and handed over to the Road Transport Department. The 3 suspects in their 30s to 50s have been remanded until November 19th. The case is being investigated under the MACC Act for bribery. 2 men and 1 woman drowned while rafting during a team-building program held amid heavy rain along Sungai Kampar in Gopeng on Friday evening. Acting Perak Police Chief Deputy Commissioner Zulkafli Sariat said the group, which consisted of 22 participants from the Seberang Perai Tengah and Langkawi branches of the Public Works Department, entered the river at 3:30 p.m. with 6 guides. The Fire and Rescue Department received an emergency call at 5:56 p.m. and a team of 10 personnel were dispatched to the locations where the victims were found. The victims were brought to the riverbank by members of the public and were confirmed dead by Health Ministry personnel. They were identified as 47-year-old Suhaili Matsaat from Nibong Tebal, Pulau Pinang, as well as Muhammad Karul Hakim Hamidi and Muhammad Ikram Abdul Bari, aged 37 and 29, from Langkawi and Citra, Kedah. Their bodies were sent to Kampar Hospital. Fourteen teenagers, including students, were among 61 individuals detained in a raid on an initiation ceremony for a gang in Salak South, Sungai Besi on Friday. The raid on a shop house was conducted by Criminal Investigation Department officers from Bukit Aman, as well as the Kuala Lumpur and Cheras District Police Headquarters at about 11 a.m. During the raid, a group with suspected links to Gang 360 was found on the premises, allegedly making preparations to induct 14 new underage members. The teenagers were at the ceremony to be initiated by senior members. Others present included 10 senior citizens aged between 61 and 91, as well as 37 others aged 18 to 59. Some of those detained had criminal records. The organization reportedly disguises its secret society activities by naming itself a registered welfare group with the Registrar of Societies Malaysia. Several items believed to be meant for the oath-taking ceremony were also seized, and the 61 detainees were brought to Cheras Police Headquarters for further action. In Johor, a motorcyclist was killed while 2 others were injured in a 3-vehicle accident on the North-South Expressway northbound near Machap on Friday morning. 33-year-old Muhammad Adib Adnan was pronounced dead at the scene due to severe injuries. Rungam Fire and Rescue Station Operations Commander Abdul Rahim Razali said the incident, which occurred at about 7:40 a.m., involved a 40-ton trailer, a car and a motorcycle. 12 personnel from the Rungam and Air Hitam Fire and Rescue Stations rushed to the scene after being alerted to the incident. Upon arrival, the firefighters found 2 men aged 25 and 26 in the car with injuries, one of whom was pinned in the driver's seat, while the trailer driver escaped unhurt. Rescuers used specialized equipment to extricate the trapped victim, after which both he and his passenger were taken to Encik Besar Haja Kalsum Hospital by members of the public at the scene. The body of the deceased was then handed over to the police for further action. In Selangor, a car broker was charged at the Shah Alam Sessions Court on Friday with 10 counts of money laundering involving 1.35 million ringgit related to the purchase of 3 luxury vehicles in 2017. 34-year-old Amir Amzar Akbarudin, however, pleaded not guilty when the charges were read to him before Judge Muhammad Anis Mahathir. Amir was accused of transferring and disposing of 1.24 million ringgit in cash and a total of 110,000 ringgit in checks, the proceeds of illegal activities, into his 2 bank accounts and the accounts of 7 other men. The offences were allegedly committed at a bank in Subang Jaya between February 4th and April 6, 2017. Amir was also charged with deceiving a man into purchasing 3 imported luxury vehicles and leading him to make a payment totaling 1.45 million ringgit. The court then set bail at 225,000 ringgit for all charges and fixed January 14th for case mention. Amid external uncertainties, Malaysia's economy continues to show robust growth, expanding by 5.3% in the third quarter of this year. The growth was driven by greater investments and continued improvements in exports. Continued growth was also supported by foreign direct investment, which recorded a higher net inflow of 14.5 billion ringgit for the period.
Dari segi pengeluaran, sektor perkhidmatan mencatatkan pertumbuhan sebanyak 5.2%, sektor pembuatan meningkat 5.6%, sektor pembinaan mengukuh kepada 19.9% dan sektor pertanian bertumbuh 3.9%.
Malaysia's economic growth surged by 7.4% in July before moderating in August and September. However, economic performance is expected to remain positive towards the end of the year.
We should not look too much in terms of the monthly trend. Of course, it will be bumpy, it will be moving, it will be volatile, depending on the number of activity during that month, depending on the number of days in that particular month as well. So this will change.
Economic growth for the first 9 months of the year reached 5.2%, surpassing earlier projections. The government is also confident that strong growth can be sustained with a projected GDP increase of 4.5% to 5.5% next year. Britain's economy grew less than expected in the third quarter, official data showed on Friday, dealing a blow to the Labour government that has set its sights on growth expansion. The Office for National Statistics said gross domestic product (GDP) grew by 0.1% in the July-September period, a slowdown compared to 0.5% growth in the second quarter. The data covers the period of the Labour government's first few months in office in the lead-up to its highly anticipated maiden budget at the end of October. The figure lagged behind economists' forecasts of 0.2% growth, with analysts partly attributing the slowdown to uncertainty ahead of the budget. It also showed that the economy shrank slightly in September, as separate data this week showed Britain's unemployment rate jumping more than expected, climbing 4.3% in the Q3 from 4% in the 3 months to the end of August. The 2024 Ace Malaysia Squash Cup now. National women's squash star S. Sivasanggari proved that she is still one step ahead of compatriot Aifa Azman following a straight sets win over the latter in the quarterfinals on Friday. The world number 9 and top seed looked a bit nervous at the start before getting her act together to clinch a 11-9, 11-3, 11-6 win in 26 minutes. Awaiting her in the last 4 will be world number 28, Georgia Adderley of Scotland. Meanwhile, men's national squash player En Yao Ng also booked his spot in the semis after defeating Spanish Bernat Jaume 11-7, 11-8, 11-8. En Yao will face either Velavan Senthil Kumar or Abhay Singh next for a place in the final. South Korean opposition leader convicted for violating election law. The details when Nightline returns. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has picked vaccine skeptic and former independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as his health secretary on Thursday, as he continues to build his new administration. Trump said in a statement he was thrilled to announce Kennedy's nomination. He told supporters at his election night victory party that Kennedy wanted to help make America healthy again. If Kennedy's nomination is ratified by the Senate, he will lead a huge agency overseeing everything from food safety to medical research and welfare programs. However, he has had a history of spreading health information that scientists say is false. The announcement came amid a fresh flurry of nominations on Thursday evening, with Trump also declaring his intention to nominate North Dakota governor as his interior secretary. Trump said he would formally announce the selection of Burgum, a former businessman who ran against the president-elect for the Republican presidential nomination, on Friday. South Korea's main opposition leader, Lee Jae-myung, has been convicted on Friday on charges of violating the country's election law and handed a one-year suspended prison sentence. The Seoul Central District Court found the leader of the Democratic Party guilty of making false statements before the 2022 presidential election in violation of the Public Official Election Act. If upheld, the ruling will strip Lee of his parliamentary seat and bar him from running in the next presidential election in 2027, as the law prohibits him from running for public office for the next 5 years. Lee said after the hearing that he would appeal the court's decision. He told reporters he will be appealing and that it was a conclusion that is difficult to accept. However, Lee, who narrowly lost to President Yoon Suk-yeol in the 2022 election, faces at least 4 other trials after being indicted on several criminal charges, including bribery and corruption. North Korean media on Friday said leader Kim Jong-un has called for accelerating the mass production of attack drones as international concerns mount over the country's deepening military cooperation with Russia. It reported that Kim supervised the latest tests of various types of suicide attack drones produced by Pyongyang's unmanned aerial technology complex. The drones tested on Thursday precisely hit targets after flying along predetermined paths. North Korea first unveiled its suicide drones in August, and military experts said the capability could be attributed to the country's growing alliance with Russia, with both sides signing a mutual defense pact. The drones, also known as loitering munitions, have emerged as important weapons of war as they can attack tanks and other targets at relatively low cost. They have also been used in conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East. Filipino authorities on Friday said another dangerous storm is barreling towards the country after Typhoon Usagi came and gone and rescuers worked to reach residents in northern Luzon Island. By early Friday, Typhoon Usagi was over the Luzon Strait with a reduced strength of 120 kilometers per hour as it headed towards southern Taiwan, where authorities downgraded it to a tropical storm. Thousands of people were displaced by Usagi, which is the 5th major storm to hit the country in less than a month. However, the streak of violent weather was forecasted to continue in the central Philippines, where tropical storm Man-yi is set to reach coastal waters by Sunday. The Weather Service said it could potentially strike at or near the heavily populated capital, Manila. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at the Great World Race, where 2 American runners broke world records in the 160-kilometer Antarctica Ultramarathon. With that, I'm Natasha Buse. Thank you for watching and have a great weekend.